Hey everybody, this is Preezy. Check out my website at www.listenuplistening5687.com. That's www.listenuplistening5687.com. You ready to chit chat and all of that? You ready to vent, let it out? Well, come on now. Come on, collab with Preezy. Come on and be on Listen Up, Listen In as a guest. Contact me at 718-354-8405. 718-354-8405. You can also contact me by email, listenuplistening5687@gmail.com. One more time, listenuplistening5687@gmail.com. Let's get it.
Tanya, you ready?
Listen up, listen in. 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 Thanks for tuning in. Let's have a conversation. Talking worldwide, it don't matter your location. What you going through and the topic may have relation. Let's get some motivation. Let's swap out education. Every Friday we heal, laugh, improve, and grow. Put some nutrients in your mind, give you food for the soul. I know you pumped and preparing for your weekend and low. Might as well join the discussion and tune into the show. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. I'm your host, Preezy. Now before I start today's episode, I would love for you guys and gals to follow me on social media. Go to Instagram, Listen Up, Listen In 5687, and on Facebook, Listen Up, Listen In. You can also email me at listenuplistening5687@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by following me on social media, you'll be able to see all the platforms my podcast is on. Wherever you consume my podcast, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast. Now let's get back to Listen Up, Listen In. Hey everybody, welcome to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. Of course, this is a bonus episode called We Miss Our Dads Too. And I have Mr. Freeze here. What's up, Mr. Freeze?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Since we miss our mom, I said, well, we miss our dad too. You and I still share the same situation because you lost your dad and I lost my dad. And
Yes.
Just want to talk about our dads and how much they meant to us and how much we miss them. And I'll go first.
Okay.
Well, my dad, he was a great guy. He was tough, and he served in the army, and he was just a great provider. And I lost my dad when I was 12. Oh, I was about to turn 12. So I really got to say, no, I think I was 12. Excuse me. I was 12.
Yeah.
I was 12 because I was going to turn 13. So,
Wow.
excuse me. So my dad passed away February 22nd, 1983. He died in 1983. So my birthday would have been in 5 more months. So yeah, my dad died when I was 12. And it was shocking when he passed because, men are so hard-headed. And It really hard. My mom used to tell my dad, and I remember this. I was 12, but I remember this, and I remember it at 11 and at 10. My mother used to always tell my dad, go get a physical. She had to make sure he got a physical. My sister had to make sure he had a physical. He wouldn't just go on his own. And, maybe around when I was maybe 11 or so, my dad used to grab his chest. I'm like, I'm getting chest pains. And he would think that water would be the solution. Oh, it's just a little gas. But in reality, those were minor heart attacks. They were little problems building up to the big one. And my dad was a hard worker. And no matter what happened to him, I remember my dad, he hurt his back really bad. I mean, it was bad. He went to work. He cut his hand really bad. Really bad. I'll never forget that. He went to work. He was a workaholic. And you appreciated it, but it was just too much. And he was there for me and my brother, because my other three brothers, my older sister and two brothers, they were older. So, Milton, he went to the military. Chris, he was working, and Judith was working. So it was me and Richard. And, Dad was always home with us. When Mommy was at work, Dad was home. Mommy come home, Dad go to work. So they were like just awesome providers. And I'll remember the day. It's so clear in my mind. When I was little, I would stay with my mother. I slept with her until Daddy came home. My dad would come home like, I think maybe 2 in the morning or so. So the minute he came in, I know to get up and I'd go in my room. So it was every single day. So me and my mother, I guess that's why we were so close too. And one night, let me start off like this. So I came home from school and came upstairs, and actually I think I saw my father leave out, and I said, bye, Daddy. And he said, bye, Tanya. Tell Mommy I'm going to call her later on. I said, okay, Daddy. Love you. And late that night, my mother spoke to my father on the phone. Had a great conversation. And so I'm like, Mom, can I sleep with you? Yeah, come and sleep with me. And then when Daddy comes home, you gotta go in your room. Okay. So that night, I heard the doorbell ring, and at that time, my brother Richard was really getting into a lot of trouble. And you can hear the walkie-talkies of a police officer, but I ain't paid no mind. You know how you sleep and you're not asleep. So I heard the radios go off, and it was the police radios. It was their walkie-talkies. And so, okay, so I just closed my eyes, nothing. Richard done got in trouble again. So they probably let my mother know he's at the precinct. So my mother comes upstairs, and I was underneath the cover because I slept at the end of the bed. And I got up and I said, Mommy, what did Ricky do again? Because that was his name, Richard, middle name Ricky. What did he do again? And my mother had this look on her face like she saw a ghost. So I said, Mommy, what's the matter? She was like, they weren't here for Richard. She said, your father died. And I said, Mommy, stop playing. Mom, why you play? That's not a joke, Mommy. And I put the cover back over my head, but I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear just playing or... I lift the cover back and I said, Mommy, are you serious? Daddy's dead? And my mother said, he had a heart attack. I said, Mommy, please, what happened? So, what happened was my father was having chest pains, and he went to his boss. And the boss told him to sit in the chair because my father apparently was grabbing his chest. I guess this was the information coming from the boss. When the boss ran out the room to get help, when they came back in, my father's head was sloped, like laid like in the back, like when you lay your head back.
Yeah.
And he was dead. So he had a massive heart attack. So when my mom told me that, I don't know, the tears was pouring, like you feel a emptiness inside. It's like we felt when our parent, our mom died, and I couldn't believe it. I said, I don't have a father? No, man, no way. And so, to make a long story short, it was really hard on our family because it was shocking. And then now when you think about all the times he grabbed his chest, and if he was sweeping outside or he was shoveling snow or he was doing something and he grabbed his chest, those were minor attacks. According to the autopsy, those were minor heart attacks.
Right.
Until the big one came and took his life. And my dad was 56 years old. He was 56.
He was still young.
Yeah. And my mother he had my mother by, I think, 6 or 7 years. So my mother was only, 49, 50 when she lost her husband?
Right.
Yeah. My mother had to take care of 5 children. At 50? She was about to turn 50? Yeah. So, not having a dad was hard. Cause little girls, we look up to our dad.
Right.
So, my mother had to become my father. She took on the role of doing everything. And it was tough. Like, I don't know how my mom did it. Even though my brothers and sisters, my 3 brothers and sisters is older, still. They were, excuse me, they were in their 20s. My sister was married. She was married. She had just had a baby. My niece Tamara. Tamara was a month? A month old? So it was hard. And I always used to look at the kids in school, and parent-teacher conference night, because my parents always came up to our school.
Right.
And I used to see my mom come up, and I always look at the kids and like, Dad, you got a dad and a mom. And I used to get so mad and angry. Like, I don't even have a father, And it's hard. And I just tell, like, my message to everybody out there, because, like I always say, excuse me, I got a cold, and it is kicking my butt. I always tell everybody, I don't know everybody's story, but just love your parents. Life is short. We don't know. We can go before people could go before their parents, because, I don't have any parents anymore. They're both deceased. But, you could go before your parent. It's not necessary that your parent is going to go before you, because this is the times we're living in. But I'm just saying, love your parents. It is so important. You only get one dad. You only get one mom. And like I said, I don't know everybody's stories. Some people just, you hear stories. Some people are just not even close to their parents. And it's sad that it's like that. But if you can make it right, make it right. Because when you lose them, it is just
it's the worst feeling.
Man, I'm telling you.
And life goes by too fast.
It just eats.
Life is too short.
You know what I mean? I was 12 years old, so it is just like, oh, boys. I just thank God every day that my mother was there. And that my mother didn't go pass after him. You know, a lot of situations when one parent passes away, the other one goes right after. And I thank God every day that my mother lived 37 years after my dad. I believe it's 37 years because he died at 56. My mother died at 87. So yeah, and he had 7 years. He was 7 years older than us. So I hope my math is right.
It's all right.
I don't know if it is. Somebody gonna text me. You subtract.
Somebody's gonna correct you.
But see,
somebody's gonna correct you.
I don't know if it was 37 or 32. Listen, I don't know. All I know is my mother lived a long time. She lived a long time. And God bless her. God bless her. So that's my story about my dad. I miss my dad every day. There's not one day that hasn't gone by that I don't think about my father. I wish my father would have seen me get into corrections because he was in the army. Just to see me in that uniform and be proud of me and see what I'm doing today. Now, I know both of my parents were still alive. Yeah, I'd be pushing them around and they'd be in wheelchairs or whatever, but I wouldn't give a damn. Just the fact to have them would mean the world to me. But that's okay because in my beliefs, I know that I will see them again. And so I'll just pray and wait and let them continue to sleep until they are resurrected. So that's my story, Mike. And now it's your turn to tell me about your dad.
Well, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And at a young age, that's hard because you're starting to grow into like a young woman, and that's when you really need your dad. You know, it's hard. I'm pretty sure I know you had it rough, but you made it through. You know,
thanks to Mama and my brothers and sisters. God bless them.
Yeah, you turned out, a very successful, young lady, and I'm pretty sure he's very proud of what you turned out to be.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he is. And like I always say, our parents always gonna watch over us no matter what. They're always up there watching over us. So.
And by the way, it was 30. Yes, it was 37 years. Yes.
37.
She lived 37 years. After. Yes. So that was okay. Thank you, Jehovah. Thank you. But go ahead, Mike.
Well, my dad passed away when I was a little older than you. I was probably like maybe 20, 21, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, even though I was that old, but you still need your dad for advice that sometimes your mom just can't give you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From and stuff like that. So I have older siblings, but I'm close to one. I'm close to one of my siblings. I think a little more so. But I made it through. Like it was really hard. My dad was a hard worker just like yours. He worked maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 hours a week. My dad was a pediatrician. The funny story about my dad was when he was younger, he wanted to be a farmer. And his mom, my grandma, who I never met. I never met my dad's parents because they died when I wasn't even born, I believe. I might be wrong, but I think so. And so his parents pushed him to be a doctor, and then he became a pediatrician. So he worked crazy hours, like nonstop hours, but he worked hard to get us through school, and to take care of us. And my dad was very very disciplined. I guess he wanted us to he basically wanted us to choose what we want to do with our lives. Every parent wants their kids to follow in their footsteps, which they would love for us to do. But he let us choose what we wanted to do. whatever we gravitated to. And then my dad was, as he got older, my dad was pretty sick as well. He had high blood pressure. He had diabetes. He also had a heart disease as well. And he lived basically by himself, like the last, I don't know, maybe 30, maybe 20 years, probably like 30 years of his life. But we would visit. Me and my brother would go see him every weekend or every other weekend. He'll spend time with my dad. He took us me and my brother to like a lot of sporting events, mostly baseball games, mostly, you know. But yeah, my dad was very loving, very smart, you know. He was very caring, and the day that my dad passed away was pretty scary too, because I think I can't remember exactly how I found out. I can't remember, but when I think my mom found out. My mom told me when I got home from school, and I was like, what? And it was just like you. It was like wow, it was a heart stopper, you know, in a lot of ways. And my dad wasn't that old. He was only 60 when he died. He was only 60 years old, so he wasn't that old. And it doesn't. There's never a day that the day goes by that I don't miss both my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
You know, I wish my mom and my dad could see what I'm doing now. Like, no one would have thought in my wildest dreams that I would do what I'm doing career-wise. And I kind of followed kind of in my mom's footsteps. I don't want to tell her that, but kind of, you know. But it's sad growing up, I guess, without a dad. You know, I mean, maybe still 20, 21 is still kind of young. You know, kind of, you know. Because, like I said before, you always need guidance from your dad. You do. And my mom did an awesome job. I'm not saying that she didn't. My mom raised all of us, you know, and took care of us. So my mom, I was like your mom, me, not mom and dad.
Right.
You know?
But you know,
but,
no matter what, your mom can never teach you the things that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
They did.
Right.
They did what they could.
They did the best they could.
All my brothers and sisters have been very successful in their careers. You know?
Right.
So, I mean, I have my brother Richard, you know, he's mentally ill, but it's okay. He was he was very smart in school, you know, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, my dad, like my dad passed away at 60, and he passed away at 1995.
That's young.
He was 60 years old.
That's young.
And he was young, and he worked. I mean, he didn't want to stop working, you know, because he had like his own private practice. So he basically worked like the day he died practically. He didn't want to stop working. He loved working with kids. You know, I guess that's probably where I get it from. I guess from both sides. From my mom being a teacher and working with kids, my dad being a pediatrician working with kids. So I guess I get it from both ends.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I say, like, I pray, I wish, and I pray every night that I wish that they could see what I'm doing. You know, I would love to, like, if I could ask them one question, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think about what I'm doing now? I just would like to hear their response and their reaction to what I'm doing.
Well, what do you think they would say?
My dad would probably be surprised. He'll be like, "You're doing what? You're working with kids? I never thought that you would do that." Because I don't know. I mean, I have I have very good people skills. I don't know. I guess I get that from both my parents. So, I didn't know how to really like use that kind of.
Right.
But now when I have my job, now I get to use that, and everybody's like, "Wow, you're so good with kids. You're so, you know how to relate to them." I'm like, "Whoa." But I think my dad would be happy that I'm doing something that I'm good at. My mom will probably be more excited, I would say, more so than my dad, because my mom was a teacher, and I work in the same school that she did. So I think she'll be more elated, more excited. She'll probably say, "I told you to work with me years ago, but you didn't want to. You were stubborn." That's what my mom will probably tell me. Like, "You were so stubborn. You should have worked with me years ago." So yeah, I think that's what they'll both say. But yeah, it's like I mean, I have days where I miss both of them for different reasons. I mean, I miss my mom because I was like I always took care of my mom when she got older. But my dad, I was still kind of young. I really didn't I really didn't say bye to my dad when he died. Really, I didn't get to see him after. I mean, his funeral, but before that, I don't think I saw him before that.
I remember.
I don't think
I'm glad that I was able to say goodbye to my dad and my mom. But the best memories I remember with my dad, he used to let me comb his hair. My dad had some real soft hair. He had like a little afro, and he would let me to grease his scalp. He would be sitting in the rocking chair. He was like, "Go get the comb and the grease." And I would be so excited. I would think that I'm a beautician, and I'm parting my father's hair, and I'm greasing his scalp. Then I'm picking it up, and I'm like, and then I pat it down, making sure it's neat. And I'm like, "Dad, how that look? He's like, "You did a good job." And I'd just be so excited, like, yes, like I was really doing something. Like, I got my dad's hair nice and greasy, it's nice, his scalp is all nice. And so those are the things that just bring me happiness. And I used to love to see my parents dance, because they would have everybody hollering.
Right.
Because they were so funny at dancing. And also, I know one of his favorite songs of Michael Jackson was "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." He really loved that song. And so I just think about stuff, and it was only 12 years that he was in my life, but they were 12 good years, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that I had 49 years with my mother. She died when I was 49. I'm now 52. And so I really appreciate the time, and I know they both died from heart disease, and that is something so important that we need to get checked out. Every year I get checked out with my heart. As a matter of fact, at the end of this month, I have to do a stress test. And every year I get myself checked out because heart disease runs so strong in my family. God bless my brother, my oldest brother, Milton Dupree, who was named after my father.
Right.
He is a 6-year heart transplant patient. And, yes, so God bless him. And then my sister-in-law, she just had heart surgery. And my niece had heart surgery many years ago. So as you can see, heart disease is very strong in my family.
It's hereditary.
Yes. So it is very important that we get checked out. And I want to just let everybody know, please go get checked out. Don't be stubborn. Go get your physicals, your blood work, your urine work, whatever it's called. Just get it done. It's so important. And also, I want to mention, get a vein test. There's something that I have this new heart doctor that I have never done before. Never even heard of it.
Right.
I can't think of the name exactly. All I know is they test your veins to make sure your veins are good.
Right.
You can ask them, when you go to your heart doctor, just say, I've heard, look it up, because I need to really Google this, but it is something with the veins, and they actually test and look at your veins in your legs. And it's something that I've never had done. I've been to the heart doctor all my life, getting physical.
Oh, wow.
And not one doctor has ever done this test except for this particular doctor. I think it's called a venous Doppler exam. Section of, I think it's called, venous Doppler exam. Yes, the vein test in legs. Please go and get it done. It says a venous Doppler ultrasound is a diagnostic test used to check the circulation in the large veins in the legs or sometimes the arms. This exam shows any blockage in the veins by a blood clot or thrombus formation. People, go and do this test. You got to do this test. I never had this test before, and I was very impressed. Thank God there was nothing wrong. But still, if you're going to get a physical exam or any type of heart test or stress test or anything, tell them to do the venous Doppler exam.
And my friend just had one done. He just had a bypass 2 weeks ago.
Oh, he had bypass surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did my sister-in-law. Thank God. And he's okay?
Yeah.
She's okay?
Oh, yeah. He didn't,
thank God.
He was feeling like his chest was kind of tight. So actually what happened was he went to the ER. His doctor told him to go to the emergency room. And when they went to the emergency room, they did EKG of his heart, and they said that it looked irregular. So they did more tests on him, and they found that he had blockage.
Oh man!
And he had to have bypass surgery. Yeah.
Wow.
And I told him, I was like, it's hard. I told him, it's gonna take one day at a time. You just got to take it easy. Your whole life changes after you do something like that.
Absolutely.
You can't be as stressed at work. You can't eat certain foods anymore. Your whole life definitely changes.
Yes.
Your whole life definitely changes. And in my family too, heart disease is hereditary as well. From my dad's side more so than my mom's side. But I get diabetes from both sides.
Yeah, we
from my mom and my dad.
Too, and us.
Yeah. So it's scary.
Very
It's scary. It's very scary.
It comes out okay. So far so good, but I gotta do this stress test, and I hope
I think I did that. I did that before.
I'm gonna do the best I can, but it's no joke.
I know, yeah. The good thing about it, when I was my cardiologist, he said, "What do you be doing at work?" I said, "I be running after kids all day. I'm after kids going up and down the stairs all day long. I'm always active." He's like, "That's good. That's exercise. That's good for you. Good job." I was like, "Don't thank me. Thank the kids for running around the whole place."
Yeah, that's funny.
I got to run after them. So, but yeah, your lifestyle definitely changes after something dramatic like that happens.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. That's it. I agree with you. Whoever is listening, you definitely gotta, get yourself checked out. Go to your primary doctor, go to your cardiologist on a yearly basis, and you gotta take care of yourself, because, like we always say, life is too short. You never know.
So leave us with one last quote. something about your dad, because we already, the last episode before, well, I shouldn't say last, but the episode before this, we talked about our mom. Leave us something about your dad.
Like what? Like, what do you want to know?
I mean, say something beautiful about your dad. We can ready to end it now. You want to be on this? You want to be on this episode all night? We ain't gonna be on this episode all night.
Well, I think the one thing I could probably say about my dad was very loving. He's very caring in his own way.
Right.
You know, he didn't show that much emotion, I would say. He was more like very firm and very like sturdy.
Okay.
He didn't show his feelings too much, but he cared. You know, he really did whatever he could to make sure that we were well taken care of. And he was a good dad. I couldn't say nothing bad. You know, he made me and my brother to the men we are today. And I can't thank him enough and my mom for what they've done for me and for my family.
Awesome. And I just want to say my dad was really a hard worker. He was very clean and made sure the house was good, and he was just a great provider. He was tough. My dad was tough. And he really laid back. He didn't really he wasn't like my mom, where she had to make sure everything was right and this and the paperwork and that. And thank God for my sister Judy, was always there to make sure everything was good. And you know, my father was just laid back. He let my moms handle everything. And but he was missed, and he will always be missed. And I love him dearly. And you know, both of my parents are buried in Calvinton Cemetery in Long Island. And I go out there and I just sit and I pray. And
how often you go out there?
I'll try to go out there at least once a month, maybe sometime two, depending on the weather. And
both my parents are very strong.
I pray. You know, I just pray. And because that's my therapy. You know. Right. And I really miss him. And I wish both of them were here, but I know that they were sick. And I just miss my dad. I miss my dad, and I wish he was here, but I wish my mom. I agree. I miss both. Parents was here, but it's all good. You know, nothing lasts forever, and we all gotta go. That's just.
That's true. We all have to go eventually, but at least we got to spend time with our parents. And my dad was a hard worker, just like yours. He always worked, and like he was he's just all around good man. You know, and my parents are both buried here in St. Raymond's here in the Bronx. Yeah. So we get to go see them, and I bring them flowers when I can, like their birthdays and anniversaries and stuff like that. And we sit there, like me and my family go, we pray as well, and we talk to them and whatever. But there's not, like I said, there's not a day that doesn't go by that I miss them. I wish they were both here too.
It's a shame that
it's a shame,
world is at a where people gotta die and be sick and suffer. But one day it won't be like that. And I can't wait. And I just love my parents. And I want people to just love. Hold your family just a little tighter, because when they're gone, the feeling is unreal. It's unreal.
I would just say this: treasure the time you have with them, especially if they're older and the elderly. Definitely spend as much time with them as possible.
Oh yeah, I was. Me and my mother, we were like peanut butter and jelly. So I can truly say that I'm so happy that I never left my mother. I was a caretaker. I did everything with her. I was there at the hospitals. My brothers and sisters were there. We had a close bond. We never let out. We went away, she was there with us. No matter where we went, they were there. And so I just know that if my dad was alive, it would have been the same thing. So it's all good though. I'm just happy that I was able to say goodbye, and didn't know it was gonna be forever, but I'm just happy that I was able to see him one last time smiling. So that meant a lot.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Mr. Freeze, for being on another episode.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, this is the bonus episode of, because we miss our mom, and I was like, nah, we miss our dad too. So it's like, we lost our parents, and we gotta keep on keeping on and encourage others to just
like I said,
if you lost your parent, we feel your pain. We know.
We know what it is. It's not easy.
It is. Because a lot of people don't know. You're not going to understand. You're just not going to understand. I don't care. You can say whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You can say whatever you want. And until you have been through it, you will never understand the pain of losing a parent.
That is so true.
Just like we could never understand the pain of someone losing a child. You know what I mean? So
I know. I know.
It's deep. But anyway, we gonna get on off this, and like I tell everybody, live, laugh, love yourself. No matter what, you gotta put yourself first, because you can't love anyone or anything unless you love you first. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Freeze? Stay healthy. So stay healthy. Stay focused. Go get them checkups.
Mm-hmm.
And put God first. Love you, mommy and daddy, forever. You love your parents, Mike?
Yep.
AKA Mr.
Yes, I love my parents to death.
All right.
I love my parents. I miss my parents.
I miss them too. God bless. Peace.
That concludes this episode of Listen Up, Listen In with your host, Preezy. Hey, yo, Preezy, tell them how to keep in touch, baby.
Go to Instagram, Listen Up, Listen In 5687, and on Facebook, Listen Up, Listen In. You can also email me at listenuplistenin5687@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by following me on social media, you'll be able to see all the platforms my podcast is on. Wherever you consume my podcast, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast.
Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Yeah.